you ever have one of them typical Mondays, just nothing goes right? You know what I'm saying? Broke my laser. Gosh, I broke my laser. Can't believe I did that. It's a typical Monday. I broke my laser. I have no idea how much that thing's gonna cost, but hey, no matter how bad the day gets, God still loves me, and Jesus is on his throne. Can't go wrong. So before I broke my laser, man, I cannot believe I broke that laser. I broke it. I was able to get it laser graded, and it's tight, and it actually could be seated right now today, but of course I got to install irrigation. Something ain't right. My measuring stick was crooked. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great Monday afternoon, wherever it is. So I'm out here at my shop, my office. I've got two quick disclaimers. Number one, this is Bermudagrass. I know a lot of you watch me for cool season, fescue, bluegrass, that kind of thing. This is not fescue, bluegrass, ryegrass, cool season turf. This is the direct opposite. This is Bermuda, devil grass. A lot of you spend crazy amounts of time trying to get the Bermuda out of your fescue, but we're planting it here. Real nice high-end Bermuda. We have it in a seed, GCI Heat Wave. I'll link it up in the description. If you're interested, click on the link, go to the website page. Be sure and read about it, please. I've already gotten one email. A guy emailed me and said, hey man, I'm doing a renovation right now. And the whole time I'm thinking Bermuda grass. Well, he's doing a daggone fescue renovation. It's not the right time to do that. Don't do it at the wrong time. Freaking be patient. Wait, do it at the correct time, okay? This is a Bermuda grass renovation. Cool season turf, you renovate in the fall of the year. You start the process late in the summer into the fall. That's why I make the stinking guides, okay? That's why I spent so much time, so much effort into those guides, so they tell you step by step by step by step exactly what to do, the time of the year and all that, so there's no confusion. I hate confusion. I hate it. This is Bermuda. You do it exact opposite. I would have loved to have had this done a month ago, but life is life, right? I've had copious amounts of rain. I had to take my son to Philadelphia. By the way, went great, great surgery. They knocked it out of the ballpark. He's my absolute Superman. And a lot of you folks know about this, but we have a Team Jacks Foundation where we raise some monies and stuff, and we take that money to families up there, give it to them in Jesus' name, pray over them, encourage them that God's got this. He has absolutely supplied me and my wife for 9 years now with faithfully. I just can't tell you how faithful God has been to us. any past 9 years as far as my son is concerned. We got this thing called Smile.Amazon, but it ain't, I mean, I don't have it. Amazon has it. When you go to Smile.Amazon, if you choose Team Jacks as the recipient or the charity or whatever it is, however it is they have it set up, I think it's on mobile now, I believe. Somebody sent me an email the other day. I think you can do it on mobile. You don't have to only do it from your desktop. So check into that. If you buy something on Amazon, they give us a percentage of that sale to Team Jacks. And we take that money and go to Philadelphia. When we go to Philadelphia, take it to a family who needs it. Awesome news. Now look, I took my camera with me to Philly, but you know, the riots going on and looting and protesting, all that kind of thing, the virus. Things are different in the world right now, and we couldn't hook up with the family, so we're actually mailing them the check for $3,000. $3,000 we get to give to a family freely. And you guys, by buying stuff on Amazon or allowing us to give this money to these people who need it much worse than we do, and now they don't have to have that financial struggle. Because if you've ever been in a hospital situation with a special needs child, man, the medical expenses are just crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy. And when that lady opens up that $3,000 check, I'm sure that God's going to overwhelm her right there at that point in time. I wish I could be there to see it, but I ain't. But I want you to know, thank you for those who are doing the Smile.Amazon. Man, I appreciate it. You're allowing me and my wife to bless these people with money. Number one, this is Bermuda, not fescue, okay? Yeah, I'm a little bit late getting going, but hey, Bermudagrass, you can plant that stuff all the way up until about 90 days prior to the first frost in the winter time. So if you go and look at a historical calendar or something about when you typically get frost in your area, start there and back up 90 days. Heck, I could wait probably another couple of months or another month maybe and do it, and still be fine. Trick to it is keep your grass seed moist, right? That's the same goes with Bermuda, more so with Bermuda than it is fescue, but we got to keep the seed moist. That's really the only stipulation. Number two stipulation, that ain't even the right word. Number two, I am not an irrigation professional dude, okay? I've been doing this type of work for 18 years now, so what I've learned about irrigation is what I've learned about irrigation. I haven't went to school for it, I haven't had any classes, I'm not licensed, so my company does not install irrigation, but this is my property, so I can install it here if I want to. In North Carolina, you have to be licensed to do that, so I can't go to a customer's house and accept money to put an irrigation system in. So we don't do that. So keep that in your back pocket. I know some of you watch this stuff and be like, ooh, look at that, he knows what he's doing. I don't know it all about irrigation. It's bare bones basic. I know how to hook your lines up, running water and all that kind of thing. Matter of fact, got a little help from a buddy of mine, and he helped me lay this out right here. And we're gonna go over this right quick and we'll show you what I did. Now, the first thing I had to do was get a starting point, okay? I pulled off my building right there. It's squared up with my building. You see that line going right down through there? Well, if you can imagine, that's going to be a fence, a black metal fence right there. From the fence, 6 foot out, all these orange flags, everything inside of here is going to be natural area. I have no clue what I'm going to plant here yet. I haven't even begun to thought. I have no clue what I'm going to plant right here. I haven't even begun to think about that. So you can see the lines kind of go all the way around. It's 6 foot. And I had to have a starting point to lay my beds out. So my starting point was this fence line. It's going to be right here. I pulled off of that 6 foot all the way around. I used my driveway over here, 6 foot. I keep everything nice and symmetrical and even. I like that kind of thing. You can see the orange flag start up there. Now this little first part right here is going to become asphalt, okay? You see how I kind of curved it in a little bit right there? Well, this section right here is going to be asphalt, and it's going to be built up a little bit and go down through there. This whole, I've got a swell right here. We're going to have this built up a little bit, and then we'll work on that side later. I got to get this side done first, but this is so when trailers come in, you know, they got a little more room to turn around. And then the natural area will kind of blend, fade in, and then the natural area go right here now. So putting in the bed or laying out the bed was really relatively easy. I've got a pretty straightforward area right here. So 62 by 88 and 112 rectangle, kind of cuts back at an angle over there next to the woods. And basically laid out my straight line for the fence and measured everything off of that. Now you can see right here, this is my layout right here. Mr. John drew this up for me, and I kind of give him my ideas, and he come back with this, and I liked his idea a lot better than mine. He's a irrigation guru. I don't know what his the job title is, but he's considerably smarter than I am with this. But we're going to come down here into this corner right here. This left corner is that left corner right over there, okay? Right here in the bed's where my valve box is going to be. All right, my valve box is going to go up there. Shoot. The trench to the valve box is going to go all the way up there to the shop. We'll talk about the water in a minute. And this will be zone number 1. You see I got 1, 2, 3, 4 heads right here. And then here's another zone, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. I got one zone going right across the middle. It's got 3 heads on it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Basically, all I did was take a measurement from there all the way down to where I want my last head at. And whatever that was, I think it was 120 feet roughly, maybe. And I just divided that by the number of heads I got, and then I evenly spaced them out right here. And it come up to, what'd that come up to? Maybe 24 foot apart, maybe, something like that. Then I did the same thing right here with the middle zone. Oh, look at here, I got too many heads in here. Look at there. He's calling for 3 right here. You know what I'm gonna do? Oh snap! Okay, I done jacked it up already. 1, 2. Should only be 4 across this back right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 5. I'm an overkill guy. I'd rather have a couple of extra heads out here than not enough. I've always been like that. I want enough water out here to get exceptional. Even some may even call it extreme coverage. So I'm planning to use those Hunter I-20s again out here. This zone right here, 1, 2, 3 heads will be one zone of irrigation. Out there at the road, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be another zone of irrigation. And then right here in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4 heads will be a zone of irrigation. Over here on the side over here, 1, 2, 3 will be a zone of irrigation. And on the back row back here, 1, 2, 3 will be a zone of irrigation. Of course, I'll show you the video when I'm wired up and trench it and all that kind of thing. And I'll show you how to wire up the different zones. And so, you know, you can hook it to your timer, wherever you put your timer. Mine's going to be up there in the shop. So, like I said, the plan is a little bit different than what we got laid out right here on paper, but doggone it, I'm gonna put some extra heads up in this joint. It's paid dividends in a major kind of way at my house, with having some really good overlapping coverage. There's my dad. You working today? No. Can't wait to show you that office renovation. Oh my gosh, it's looking so good. Where was I at? Talking about extra heads in my yard. and it's really paid off big time to put extra heads in the yard. It's that extra coverage and extra water. I may be breaking yard rules by doing that right there, but who cares? I don't follow the grass rules no way, do I? So when planning out an irrigation system, it's been my experience that the number one thing that is hands down the most important part is your water source. Okay, you have to have a water source to supply the irrigation system. Fortunately, I have a well here. The well is not a very strong well. It's a long-lasting well. The well has been here for about 40 years, and it still puts out really well, but it doesn't have quite the oomph to actually push the water. We're about 140 feet from where the valve box will be, the main valve box, back up to the well. It's about 140 feet, so it doesn't quite have that kind of power or volume and pressure to actually supply 4 irrigation heads. So I am going to have to do something a little bit unique. We have 1, 2, 3,000, let's see, 3, 6, 70. I have 7,500 gallons worth of these big humongous white tanks that we keep water in, and so we're actually going to run the irrigation hook directly to that. So my well keeps those full all the time. It's got a self-closing valve. When you pull water down, it starts filling it back up. When it gets full, the valve shuts it off, and it's done until we use more water. So we're going to hook it directly to that. I'm going to use a little irrigation pump, same one that I used last year. And the reason I know it'll push 4 heads is because I used it last year and we pushed 4 heads, right? So there's 2 zones with 4 heads, and the rest of the zones have 3 heads. So I should have 0 problems with that. Now, one thing we are going to do in the next couple of years is dig a new well here, because I'm just getting a little spooked on that one. We go through thousands and thousands of gallons of water a year. I got to have a well. We don't have city water here. It does not run right here, so the well's my only option. So chances are we're going to dig a new well in the next year or so, and I'm going to leave this thing set up to where I can go hook to that well, and fingers crossed and they hit the jackpot on that one, right? So the biggest thing is make sure your water supply will feed the heads on the zones, okay? If I had a piss poor water supply, which I do, matter of fact, if I were to hook my well up, I would probably maybe two heads per zone. That's how bad that well is. That's how insufficient that well is. You know, a lot of folks have bad wells, but you can still use that for irrigation. You just can't put as many heads per zone, or if you put more heads per zone, you have to use them little teeny tiny baby nozzles, and of course you have to run it much longer to get that full inch of water. So the biggest thing with doing all this is make sure your water matches your zones, meaning make sure your water volume, your water pressure, all that matches up with the number of heads you plan to run. You wouldn't want to come out here and install an irrigation system, put 6 or 8 heads on a zone, and then once you get it on and turn it on, and those heads are just barely dribbling out because you don't have the water to supply them. So any of those irrigation companies, Rainbird, Toro, Hunter, any of them, you can go to their websites and you can figure out what heads you want and how much water you have to make that head function correctly. And then, you know, based off how much water you got, as far as your supply goes, that tells you how many of those heads you can put on a zone. Once you get that part done, it's realistically as easy as basic math. You just map out the yard, keep your heads evenly spaced apart, you know, see about how far those heads are designed to throw. I know these I-20s are going to be a little bit closer than what they're recommended, but again, I want them a little bit closer, okay? And then once you get all that figured out, then basically all you do is get you a ditch witch and come out here and start trenching lines and actually doing the physical labor and burying them in the ground, and that's next. The next video we'll do that. So be sure and like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your buddies. I hope your Monday is much better than mine. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day and watching. Again, check the description for all that cool stuff, and we'll check you later.